So today I'm going to be showing you guys how I put on my makeup, and I'm also going to be demoing a few new products that I have never used yet. So this is going to be like a little bit of the old, what I usually do, mixed in with a little bit of the new stuff. I did a Sephora Spring Sale unboxing video, which features all the products that I'm going to be using alongside my old favorites. Okay, so for starters, I am going to put on primer, which I am adamant about, especially this primer in particular. I made a beauty favorites video and this was included in it. I'll put the link for that below too. I just want to show you guys what this does, and it's basically a super hydrating yet sticky makeup gripping primer. But it also doubles as like a face mask because it's so good for your skin. So it's like kind of like a skincare primer hybrid. And I really love this because when I put it on before my makeup, I always feel like when I take off my makeup at night, my skin looks better, which is like, what more can you ask for? Usually when people take off makeup, they're like, oh, my skin looks so bad after makeup and da 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 da. But this, I feel like, really actually improves my skin while I'm wearing makeup. So I love it a lot. So basically, I am just going to do about 3-4 pumps. And I'm just going to put this on with my fingertips. You can tell it's like really sticky. Really sticky and viscous. So when you put this on, it like instantly hydrates and plumps your skin, but it also has this like lifting, kind of firming, kind of tightening effect. If that makes any sense. It's different from anything else I've ever tried. I know that. So I feel like you might not be used to this texture, so it's not a common texture in products, so I feel like there's going to be people who are going to love it, there's going to be people who are going to hate it. Primer is on. Next thing I'm going to do is go in with foundation, and I'm using Mcgrath Foundation in Light Medium 13. And this is when the new stuff comes in. I am going to try putting this on with this shiseido brush that's double-ended. I usually put this on with my beauty blender, but this brush is double-ended and has this kind of squishy silicone tip that's supposedly supposed to mimic fingertips. So I'm really psyched about that because I love putting makeup on with my fingertips, but I hate having to wash my hands and getting it all over my hands. But I feel like fingertips gives me like the nicest, most natural finish. So this is supposed to be like a substitute for your fingertips. So I'm going to see, I'm going to put that to the test. So I'm going to dot this on with this squishy end. So I've never, like I said, I've never tried this brush before. It's the first time using it. I just washed it and dried it. And I'm just going to put 2 pumps of foundation on. I'm going to dot this all over. I also feel like, your fingertips kind of like absorb a bunch of stuff. And this supposedly doesn't. It's non-absorbent, so supposedly you get to use less product or not waste as much product at least. So right now, I feel like it's doing an okay job. I don't know if this is like a replacement. I don't think this could replace the job my fingers do. But I get what they're saying. It's like you can pat this on. Interesting. So far I've been dotting it on like this, but I'm trying to see what happens when I start kind of rubbing with it. I think this is a really cool concept of having something to mimic fingertips without having to use your fingertips. Because your fingertips, you know how like all your makeup bottles get like smudged with foundation after you use, you know what I mean, after you put on your foundation and then like touch your other makeup things. I feel like this will kind of cut down on smearing of makeup all over things. So, I mean, I'm not loving it. And I guess this is better than putting it on with my fingertips. But I feel like with your fingertips you have way more control. So, I am now going to go with the other end, the brush end, and just kind of blend everything so it doesn't look so uneven. Ooh, that is looking way better. Yeah, I like that combo. So like you dot it on with the one end and then you blend out with the other end and then you don't have to use your fingers. The brush definitely like seals the deal, like makes everything better. Like the silicone end isn't something I wouldn't use as a standalone thing personally. All right, that looks good. I am next going to dot on some concealer. Mostly everything I have to conceal is by my chin. So I'm going to use this flat concealer brush, like the traditional regular kind of concealer brush, to pinpoint any imperfections. I feel like flat concealer brushes give you like really high coverage, but they don't blend well, which is why I bought this other concealer brush that I'm about to pull out for you guys. It's new, I got it during the sale, and I feel like it'll do a much better job of just kind of blending everything. So this is the new concealer brush that I got that I'm trying for the first time. It's angled and fluffy, and it has this kind of flat side, which I feel like is supposed to mimic the flat concealer brush, and then you can go back with the fluffy end and blend everything. So I am just going to go ahead and blend, blend, blend. See how this... I really love Hourglass brushes. They're always super soft. They're cruelty-free. They're made of synthetic fibers, super soft. I literally had my Hourglass powder brush for about 8 years until it broke on me. And it broke because the handle snapped in half. I don't know how hard I was using it that a fucking handle would snap in half, but it happened. Then I'm gonna go in and blend over here. And I'm loving this. This is what I wanted out of a concealer brush, so I'm glad I got this. Like I said, flat concealer brushes do a really great job of high coverage, but it does a really poor job of blending out. And this does that perfectly. Love it. Okay, awesome. Next, I'm going to try on this Mcgrath Labs Skin Fetish Sublime Perfection Setting Powder. I have the eye setting powder. This is like the face setting powder, and then she has an eye setting powder. Blurring under eye powder. So, you know what? Maybe I'll try the blurring under eye powder for my eye area. Conceal that a bit. I do have some circles. I have been having some long nights. And then put on that powder brush. It's supposed to just be really seamless and not cake up and not, you know, accentuate your lines and stuff. which, yeah, it's definitely doing its job. So next is going to be powder, face powder. And I like the Pat McGrath, just the container, because you know how most powder containers just have like a piece of plastic and then holes punched in it? This has like a mesh layer, so I feel like it'll distribute the powder much more evenly. And I am going to be using this Shiseido brush. It's like really interesting. It has 4 sections. I already dipped it in powder a little bit, so it's kind of dirty, or not dirty, but full of powder. But it comes in, it has like these 4 sections, and apparently it's supposed to be a really good powder brush. I'm using it for the first time right now, so I will let you know. So I'm just dipping that. This is supposed to buff any powder. So I did half my face. Which I feel like doesn't look that powdery, which I like. Like my issue with most face powder is that it looks powdery and matte, but I feel like this just looks more like this looks, it has a more perfecting finish on the side that I did powder, so I'm going to try this side. So the brush is really soft, definitely really soft. It definitely does a good job of buffing. So that's my full Pat McGrath face. I'm wearing her concealer, her powder, foundation, under eye powder. And I like that my skin looks fairly natural. Like, it doesn't look super cakey or made up, which I don't like. I don't like looking like I'm wearing a full face. I like my little no makeup makeup. I am going to fill in my brows next. And to fill in my brows, I'm using Ico London Brow Liner in medium. I also have a Fenty Beauty brow pencil that I use sometimes, but this formula in particular from the Ico I feel is longer lasting. This is basically like a felt tip marker. See the difference? Do my other eyebrow. And then I gotta check to see if they look even, which I don't think they do, so I'm gonna go back and make a few fixes, some adjustments. Eyebrows, not twin sisters, but cousins. So, eyebrows done. For eye makeup, I'm honestly not going to put anything on, and that might horrify some people, but I've been going without eye makeup just because don't feel like wearing it. I usually just do lash extensions. I'm not wearing any lashes right now. I am waiting on some Lashify bond so I can start wearing DIY at-home lash extensions again, because lash salons are still not open due to the pandemic, obviously. So I'll put those on for you when I get the bond at some point. I'll show you guys how I put on my lashes, which is an interesting process too. I put the bond on and then I put little individual clusters of lashes underneath my natural lashes, and it looks super natural and great and I love it. But anyway, on to the next. I am really excited to try this. This is the Cheeks Out Freestyle Cream Blush from Fenty Beauty in Bikini Martini. Just to show you guys the color. And that looks like a really bright pink, so I'm very curious to see how it goes on. And for this, I'm going to actually use my fingertips because it's cream blush. I feel like the best way to put it on is to use your hands. So, ooh, look at that. Okay, so it's very pigmented, but very blendable. Now, I was looking at the videos on this on Sephora, and this is actually supposed to be, it's supposed to be able to be layered over your foundation, over your powder. So, definitely gave me a pink flush. I think I am going to do the other side, obviously. So now I understand why they give you so little of it. You really don't need that much, like a little goes a long way. But still, for 20 bucks, like this looks like an eyeshadow, honestly. Looks like a larger eyeshadow for $20. But anyway, very pretty. And I'm going to blend that out. I have, this is the Fenty Beauty highlight, like cheek hugging highlight brush. And I'm just going to use this to blend out this blush. Yeah, and this color, like it looks very bright and kind of almost intimidating in the inside the thing, but it really is very natural flush. It is pigmented, so I'm sure you could build it up to a more intense pink. Like, you know what? Let's try that. If I wanted to make it, if I wanted to do like doll makeup, you know, I feel like this is the perfect shade of pink for a doll look. Yeah, see? So you can definitely build the intensity on this. You can definitely build up the color concentration. Yep. So it's buildable. It's definitely lightweight too. I don't feel like it's heavy or sticky, especially for a cream blush. Definitely feels lightweight. Okay, next I'm gonna put on my Holy Grail highlighter, which is Pat McGrath Labs Highlight Stick in Nude. Pull up that end. Just these are the areas I highlight, my brow bone, peaks of my cheekbone. Do the underside of my nose, tip of my nose, and then I do Cupid's bow, do a little down here, and I even highlight my forehead a little up here. And with that, I am taking this Pat McGrath buffer brush. This is the old school one. Her new ones are white, but this came with the original highlights face kit. But yeah, I'm going to just lightly blend that out. Highlight. I feel like I look kind of like a clown with this much blush on. So I'm probably actually going to tone it down a little bit. I just wanted to see if it would build in intensity, and it did. So now I'm going to take away some intensity by going back with my foundation brush. That's better. It's like, still has blush on it, but it's a little intense, a little less clown-like. There we go, that's a lot better. And lastly, I'm going to put on my Mcgrath Lip Gloss, if it'll open. Look at this. I've had this lip gloss for so long. It's almost done. The cap has fallen apart already. Whoops. But yeah, that's how long I've had this tube. And I think I have I've used multiple tubes of this. Like, this is probably my oldest one. I've totally used up and thrown out like at least 3 or 4 of these already. So that is my usual full face, and I'm usually wearing lash extensions. I so far actually am really happy with all the products I got. I like the foundation brush. I like this powder buffing blush. I like this concealer brush. And I like this face powder by Pat McGrath. And I also like this cream blush by Fenty Beauty. So this is my usual face, few new products. I feel like my skin looks really even and glowing. I feel like I look so naked without lashes, but oh well. There you go, guys.